It's noise rock.
What is the purpose of criticism? Some would say that it exists to tell as many people what is good apart from ill, but the criticism does not exist in a void. The critic exists to serve two masters. Himself, to ingratiate himself as a piece of the art, as much as he would the artist. But to render himself as the artist. And the second would be to sell art, which sounds monstrous. It sounds ludicrous, but here we are, selling records like some common salesman. No better than a man asking you to buy insurance.
Hello, wieners, and welcome to Death Penalty, where I take every single album on the charts and give it the gas. So, what do you think of the new studio? I've just been putting up some blood on the walls. And let me just say, painting with blood on the walls is a lot harder than it seems. Takes a lot more effort. So, and I got to get this cleaned up before my mom gets home. So, we got to make this one short. So, first album of the day. Well, it's a big one. First album's called Solar Power, and it's by an artist called Lorde. We all know Lorde. She did that Royals song. It was alright, I guess. It's This one's called Jack Antonoff. It's got a Metascore of like 70, user score of 8.9. I guess it's not doing too well with the critics. That being said, Lord, I sentence you to execution by electrocution. Okay, that went well. Next up. Oh, I gotta stop doing that voice. It's terrible. This is actually ketchup. It's not actually blood. I thought it was funny to put blood on the walls because I got some metal music playing, and this is called Death Penalty. Look, so let me tell you how much I admire anyone who can actually paint on the walls consistently with blood. That's a real skill. It does not go on the walls very well. Let me tell you, this did not go on the walls very well. But you've got the consistent lettering. We can at least say that much. Next up, oh man, my lungs. The Killer Pressure Machine. The poems Brandon Flowers wrote about the small Utah town he grew up in that also features a guest appearance from Phoebe Bridgers. Got an 81% Metacritic score, 8.9% user score, but so I sentence you to be killed! That's funny. Next up. We gotta find something, who else? I think that's it. You know what? This whole thing isn't going very well to begin with. And, I already wrote on my wall in ketchup. It's starting to smell like ketchup in here. And, it's dripping down the walls. Look at this. Look at it. If I don't catch that soon, I'm going to have a big mess on the floor. And this is carpet in here. So, you know what? I'm gonna leave it. Oops! Oh, jeez. I'm gonna leave this one. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna say thanks for watching, and oh jeez. Anyway, thanks for watching. This has been a terrible idea.
Okay, Private Miller.
You've been smoking for 7 minutes and 13 seconds. We're going to ask you several questions.
How do you feel?
I realized that it was my first show since the pandemic started. The last show I went to before COVID was the Jesus Lizard in Nashville, Tennessee. It was December 2019. That was my last show. So it was strange. Schools are back in session. No one's wearing a mask. And that's a whole other story that has caused me a great bit of distress. But anyway, yeah, it was my first show. It was fantastic. So the atmosphere of the show, I'd never been to Now That's Class before. I actually haven't been to very many shows in Cleveland. I typically go to Columbus, Pittsburgh, and Detroit. I've gone to Bogart's a few times, and the Bogart's is in Cincinnati. I've gone to the grog shop some in Cleveland, but I'd never been to Now That's Class. It was incredible. I met another person from Noise Rock Now on Facebook, Robert. He met me there, and it was fantastic. It was strange. It was unmasked. I did not wear a mask. Shamefully did not wear a mask. There were a couple people there wearing pretty heavy-duty masks, but no one attending. I don't even think any band members were masked. I talked to Robert, who I attended the show with briefly, and we kind of laughed and thought that most people that listen to noise rock probably have enough sense to get vaccinated, so we both felt pretty comfortable. I did wear earplugs, which was strange for me. I watched the movie The Sound of Metal, and I committed to preserving the small amount of hearing I had left, so I did wear earplugs. And I must say, I highly encourage folks to wear earplugs. honestly sounded better with the earplugs than without. Maybe that's because now shows are a little painful without earplugs. I felt at home, you know, as soon as they started playing, it just felt really good, and I'm glad that I went.
Welcome to No Format.
What?
Hulk Hogan meat shoes.
Great band name.
It is a great band name.
Yeah.
So, yes. Do we just leave it in the air and like savor it for what it is, or does this require deeper inspection? I'm happy either way.
Oh, trust me, I was just letting you savor it for a moment before I just
Thank you.
explain. So there was a post on the internet where this guy had this dream, or was it reality? He couldn't remember, but he thought when he was a kid that there were these branded shoes, sneakers specifically, promoted by Hulk Hogan. And in the sole of the shoe, there was a little pocket where you could put your beef jerky in. Whenever you wanted a little piece of beef jerky, you could just lift the shoe up, open the little drawer, and take out a little piece of beef jerky. And your beef jerky would be warm. And he talked about this online.
That sounds so violently American.
It does.
It was.
And disgusting.
Yeah.
I was thinking that, you know, if we're getting Kevin on a tour with Mersbo, we could get him some meat shoes. So he doesn't go hungry.
It makes me think of the shot in Trainspotting where like there's the junkie kit in the like heel of the shoe, but instead it's just meat.
Some Slim Jims.
Yeah.
So my Hulk Hogan fact, if we have a second for it. So Hulk Hogan is from Augusta, Georgia, which is where I'm from. So of course I'm like, I have lore. He played bass in the Butler High School jazz band. So he plays bass. After Cliff
Correction,
Burton,
he plays guitar. Thank you.
Oh, yes.
Real
Yes.
American.
But after Cliff Burton died, he reached out to Metallica to be their next bassist.
Oh my god.
And they thought it was a joke, so they declined. So we live in a reality, a deviation from Hulk Hogan being the bassist in Metallica.
I knew that we lived in the worst timeline.
Yeah.
So the album took a lot of effort. We're very proud with how it came out.
And it's coming out on vinyl.
I am proud of how it came out. We should be proud of ourselves.
Yes.
Pat ourselves on the back.
It is coming out on vinyl.
Yes. Eventually.
And I don't know if I told the rest of you. I told Jared, but I'm also proud on your behalf. I feel in some ways like father. I mean, I am a father. But, you know, another kind of father who gave birth to someone else's children.
All the little worlds that we like best, we still got them on VHS. When the road gets bumpy, we just might head back to Sandusky. Hit rewind and home again, but it's never gonna be the same. The story never changes, but the tape's degrading. We might lose the plot, but I know we can't stop till the wheels come on.
But I think that definitely what is happening with kind of music and how it's disseminated now is so much of, a person with, I'm using the term clout for lack of a better term, but, saying this is good. And so it's where it had been publications like, purely print, and then in like the late 2000s where it was like your pitchforks and whatever sharing MP3s. It seems like the next evolution of like, hey, I have taste in music, listen to this. So it's an interesting way. Funny enough, that's why we leave our records just laying around town.
Have you had any issues with regards to the vinyl pressing so far?
Yes.
Absolutely.
No, just the length of time, as everyone's having issues right now.
Did you get it pushed back at all?
We're not sure yet.
So far, we're expecting to have them by August, but so far, every deadline we've been given has been pushed back a couple months, so hopefully this is the last one. We have a record release show set, so hopefully it doesn't get pushed back again.
And if it does get pushed back again, you can always blame Dave Grohl for that.
I was just about to say that.
Oh, I don't know about this.
The DGs, his disco side project, the DGs.
Oh, I know nothing about this.
Oh, you don't
This
know?
is why the Grasshopper Lies Heavy record is probably also delayed now.
I mean, it's not just because of Dave Grohl, but we're blaming Dave Grohl.
No,
I mean,
everybody's pretty much blaming Dave now.
Because, so I don't know if you heard, now's the time to talk about it. So Dave Grohl, since we're bringing it up, he was like, I'm going to put out a record store day special album called DGs. It's all Bee Gees covers.
And he rushed it.
Did anyone ask for that?
No.
Can you imagine his youngest child like, I don't know, Dad?
And Dave Grohl is like, no, this would be really cool. Really cool.
More it's going to be great.
It's good. Yeah, there we go. That's a great Dave Grohl impression. It's going to be great.
To be honest, I've not heard it, and I don't want to hear it.
I don't know a single person who's excited about it.
One person in the room raised their hand, and we won't acknowledge who it was.
It's okay. You could say it's Kevin.
Sounds kind of cool.